Hello, it's brunch time. Let's get this party started. I have repotted I have repotted my keikes. They have gotten so big. This one is my, I want to say, not my prized possession, but my top earner. This one has been struggling a little bit. Had it originally potted in moss with the styrofoam for the bottom. I have little holes cut in there. It's not cut. I had to like melt them with a hot nail. I call these my twins. They're twins because they both grew in on the same orchid, on the same spike. So these are the Wonder Twins. And this one's the younger one, and this one's the older one. I decided to put it in Orchiata bark and New Zealand sphagnum moss with river stones down at the bottom. Although I don't know if I like the river stones because it's holding on to moisture down at the bottom. And I think I watered this one Monday, and I'm used to not watering them because they were in sphagnum moss I didn't really keep track of how long that I didn't water them. I just made sure that I didn't water again until they were like kind of, right before they became bone dry, which, that's debatable. But I just wanted to make sure they didn't start to degrade quicker. So I potted them in moss December of 21. It's 22. I can't remember. Time has flown by. I want to say maybe 2020. So they were in moss for a good amount of time. I will link, or I will have a card linked below or up top, whatever, for the playlist on the keikes and how they've grown throughout their existence. There are roots that are making their way down and kind of burrowing and settling in, really attaching themselves. And so we have all three roots. And is there any more? Let's do a review of this one, my golden child. So yeah, we have one root. We have another root growing, so that's probably going to be more of an air root. And we have 2, 3. So I think this one is not able to be seen, and these two are getting pretty. Oh, this one's long. I had one root that was buried, had like grown into the styrofoam. That one was pretty cool. I had to be really careful on breaking that styrofoam apart so I could get it all out. Let's see, this one. Yeah, this one's gotten pretty long. It's really cool how they get fuzzy like that. And it's not really fuzz, it's like that. It's kind of like I don't know what to call it. Yeah, it's like a fuzz, and it helps attach the root to, it's like anchor. It anchors the root. And they don't have much of a green tip, but I've noticed that, they'll dry up like right here. It has I guess an extension. It gets to a point where it stops growing and then it restarts, which is pretty cool. You guys don't really have to worry about like the dead root being completely, not dead, but it's like it's grown to a point and then it can or will restart. So this one hasn't lost any roots. I think maybe one has dropped off. I don't think any have fallen. I think one right here has fallen. And the leaves have really been doing a good job at growing. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's like starting to do lean with it, rock with it, but that's okay. I'll take it. And we got a new leaf right here. So overall, I'm really proud of how this is doing. It's been an experiment, and I'm just really happy that I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing a good job. That's what it is. That's where we're at. And I still use my seaweed spray. I stopped for a long time because I just didn't feel like getting out the tools and the water. And I will say, as a side note, I stopped collecting rainwater because it was just too much of a hassle. I don't have a rain barrel. I don't want to buy one. They're like $100. And I don't think the water quality from my house, you know, if it drained down, like if it comes out of the, what is it called? Water spout? I'm thinking about Itsy Bitsy Spider. But if it comes out of the water spout, it's just not good quality. If it's coming off of the rooftop, I don't think that's good quality either. I have a wheelbarrow that I have been using for, you know, it's a good collection spot, like a container, because it's wide open and it's pretty easy to get the water out. But I have been way too lazy, because I'm just being honest. I have been way too lazy in trying to get the, I mean, I have a child, I have a job, I have a lot going on. So this is just a hobby, and I don't have time to try to find, I mean, I can, but like I said, I don't have time to find like a strainer for, you know, whatever's coming down from the rain and whatever particles are in the wheelbarrow. I don't have time. And the insects, like the little tiny insects. I didn't have a problem with the insects. I do think I was getting a little bit of like thrips. You win some, you lose some. A strainer is what I needed, because the problem with these keikes is that the moss was collecting algae. Then with the lighting, I have artificial lights and I have natural light from my window, and that was really just speeding up the process of, you know, algae collecting, and it just was a mess. So I'm committing the sin of using tap water. We're gonna do an experiment. We're gonna see how tap water does for the orchids. Brief synopsis of what I have realized about tap water is that I did test the pH, but my pH meter wasn't zeroed out. I can't remember what it's called I can't remember what it's called. Just like a weight scale, you have to like zero it out. The pH is around 5.8, and I want to say that's a sweet spot. So maybe like my pH levels of water is not too bad. The parts per million is not what I tested. I think I did a while ago, but I can't remember what it was. It's a little bit acidic, so that can be a problem. Collecting salts down in there in the medium. But I'm going to take my chances, and I'm going to see how this goes. I was watering my outside orchids with water from the hose, and they did really well. Like until I stopped paying attention, until I stopped watering them, they were doing really good. They were growing, all the humidity, all of the sunlight. They did sunburn horribly, but I just did a very bare minimum for them. Those were my dendrobiums, my mini phalaenopsis, and one of my new phalaenopsis. I don't know what it was called. I had the ID, but I lost it. So it's either sunlight something. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. This one lost about 2 or 3 leaves. So it would have had 6. Like this one would have been the 6th. And they're pretty good. And this one is a little bit not long. Hopefully this one will be longer. It's about the same. We have this air root, which is poking out pretty well. The tip is not very green, but like I said, I moved this one from under these two keikes. I moved them from under the grow lights to the sunlight. So that's a new condition that we've changed in the environment. I had to cut off a few, like 2 roots, because they had rottened. And this one is just like the other water culture that I have in my previous video, and it is, you know, a little dry, a little brown. It's not very green, but it has an extension that is really there's a fresh root, you know. It's doing good. So I try not to get hung up on, you know, what these roots are looking like, and just celebrate the wins. And like I said before, I make sure I cut off all of the dead leaf skin, so we can make room for roots that want to grow and are being held back by that tissue. Like I said, this is Orchiata bark, and I decided to put sphagnum moss in there. This one was a tiny little root that was poking out. It's still green even though it's dried. Like I said, it still has that little bit hanging on. I've seen roots like this extend further. So that's that. I have, I think, maybe 1 root. I don't know what that is. 1 root that has grown down in the pot. And oh, this is river stones. I know I decided not to go with the styrofoam. It just looks, it's not visually appealing. It's not pleasing to the eyes. So I didn't put that in there. I decided to put the river stones. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, it's holding on to moisture, but I did water these recently, and I think that's everything for these little twinsies. I will come back with an update. I don't know if I'm going to do it in this video. I have some more water culture orchids. I have 2 that were in bloom. Well, they're still in bloom, and I would like to show them while they still have flowers, but also and share what my thoughts on those are. And my cymbidium, my Melatoniopsis, and what else? My new grow light, my new positioning, you know, the whole setup, the new positioning for everything. And I'm looking around. I want to also review my dendrobiums. I think that's what I'm going to do next. Dendrobiums, and then maybe after that, the Miltoniopsis with the cymbidium. So there's a good 3 videos that I know I'm going to do. Those are my next 3 topics. So if I don't include these topics in this video, I will be back with the other topics. And I hope you guys have a great day. And you, oh, and it's Thanksgiving. Have a happy Thanksgiving and have a great day. Goodbye.